Your leadership is different depending on what the situation is. If it's in our business, if it's a tense situation, it's going to be much more direct. There's not time to discuss it. There's not time to kick ideas around. Hey, we got to do this. We have to do this. We have to do this. My path to leadership here has kind of been an interesting one. People ask me frequently, hey, was your goal always to be the chief? And I can tell you unequivocally the answer was no. I was a canine handler for 7 years, but I took the first sergeant's test just kind of on a whim. I wanted to get the experience of taking it. The stars aligned, if you will, and I scored number 1 and got promoted. And at that point, then it just, well, hey, I'll take the next test and we'll see what happens. And I tell people all the time, I'd rather they put he was a good husband, good father on my tombstone than they put chief of police. I'm still mad at home and Matthew when my mother's angry at me, so it all works out. For me, a lot of it is maybe what you would refer to as a team style. Listen, I have a really great administrative team. Captains, assistant chief, safety administrative supervisor, and we tend to kick those ideas around and try to come up with what's the best solution in that moment. I think my role as a leader of the department is a couple things. Number 1 for me is lead by example. I'm normally in the gym at 4:30 in the morning. Try to keep myself in shape because I want my officers to keep themselves in shape. So anybody that's raised kids know that do as I say, not as I do doesn't always work. There's a lot of responsibility in leading a law enforcement agency. The men and women that we lead make life and death decisions every day, not just with the people they interact with, but those decisions could affect them. There's a lot of components to it, from training, hiring the right people, training them properly, making sure they have the tools that they need to do their job effectively. It can be a lot to shoulder. We are not perfect by any means, but we try awful hard, and we will keep doing that. It's been a number of years since I went through Leadership Wooster. I was a sergeant at the time. For me, at the time, I didn't know what to expect. I really believe it was beneficial. It taught me there was a lot in the city, even though I had worked here as a patrol officer, as a canine handler, as a sergeant. There's a lot of things I didn't know about, and it really opened my eyes. One of the other things it did was it helped make a lot of connections with people in other aspects of the city and businesses and what they did and networking and at the time when I first was enrolled in it, it was, hey, what am I getting myself into? But looking back, it was a good experience, and I'm fortunate I was able to do it. People that have worked with me in the past know that I often say I'm like the Wizard of Oz. I'm content to be the man behind the curtain. I like to go in stores and shops or restaurants and people don't know who I am. That's fine with me. Give the officers all the praise, we'll get the job done in the background. So it's a little tough for me to accept awards like this, but it's an honor. I'm flattered, I'm honored that the chamber would recognize me.
Congratulations, Chief Matt Fisher.